I'm gonna put the shit on when it dropped Tuesday. I'm gonna put the clip of Miles Rett movie score on there and tag them and be like, "Yo, do y'all how y'all you think it's hot?" Word.
Okay,
because Spotify wants me to love it.
I think the beat is decent if it's someone else is rapping
six
on
people are about to go and look it up right now. 6 people are literally about to go look it up right now. Like, okay, shit, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I mean,
Miles
why
Rett
not?
movie score.
You know, just because it ain't your cup of tea, maybe somebody else would be like, "Oh no, I fuck with this Miles Roulette guy."
Yeah, I mean, boom. Like
somebody
like
I hated everything that the Abyss podcast said, but then they got me onto this Miles Rett guy, and so it's all
bullshit. Exactly. I hate all this Abyss shit, but this Miles Roulette guy, now you're on to something.
He's it.
85 episodes, y'all finally told me some shit I want to know.
Hey, yo, but boom, but you, I kind of enjoy whack shit. You are now listening to the Abyss podcast with Carl the White Monk, Primo Jab, and Luki Cage. Hip hop on a higher form, going further down pause, further down pause, further down pause. Tap in. Leeds won. I was checking the EPL real quick. I'm a big EPL fan. My teams now are Chelsea and Leeds United because they are all the Americans on Leeds United, even though one's hurt. So boom, I had to check that real quick. I forgot about that yesterday.
Did you see Morocco beat Brazil? I think
I'm not surprised.
2 weeks ago or something.
I'm not surprised.
Morocco's going to come back in strong for this next World Cup.
It's 3 years away. You never know. People get hurt.
I was about to say it's not close, right?
Nah, man.
Yeah, it's still some time. Good. Don't scare me.
2026.
Before we get into the introduction and stuff, how Goblin are you a football fan, soccer fan, football, footy?
I've played for many years.
Really?
It was my sport as I grew up. I kind of played at kind of a semi-professional level as a goalkeeper.
Word. That's hard.
Nice.
They say that's the crazy position. That's the position where you're going to get kicked in the face, and
it's loveless. It's a loveless position.
Yeah, putting your body on the line and all that, man. But yeah, I'll be honest with you though. Recently, I'd say in the last couple of years, I've not been quite following it quite so closely.
Who's your club when you're into it?
Arsenal. Funny, the year where I decide I'm not really going to follow it anymore. Is like,
they dominate.
My team are dominating. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan.
Hey, yo, you can claim that all you want. You could claim that all you want. Like once a Nick, always a Nick. You could claim that all you want. And I realized, you do got pretty good size, Pauls. The goalkeeper, definitely. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How tall are you? How got 6 what?
6'1", 6'2".
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's real.
Those nets are massive.
Yeah, they are. You got to get the angles down.
Did he say nuts or nets?
No, I said those nets.
I was probably saying my nuts were massive. Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably if you're a goaltender. Yeah.
Oh, you got to have big balls to play that shit. That ball coming straight to your face.
I've done it.
Anyway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pause. Anyway, boom. It's you. 84 of the Bitch Podcast. I see
man.
right there.
85, man.
85.
You got the issue right.
Shit.
And then
I said issue instead of episode. But I was looking at your shirt. You got a Mind Force shirt on. That's
right. Shout out Jay Petta.
Yeah, Jay Pay. That's a hard shirt, Pause. It's definitely a hard shirt. Primo Jab, how are you?
What's happening? I'm all right, man. Happy day.
Yeah. What shirt is that?
Oh man, it's this Freddie Gibbs sold separately shirt. It's the casino version of it, man. Nice. I still feel like that's a decent album. It has some decent cuts on there. Freddie came through with it.
That's what's up, man. And Hobgoblin right there got the ill big ghost hoodie.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Man, give him a proper goddamn greeting. Ladies and gentlemen, in case y'all didn't know, we sitting with the illustrious from across the pond. My man and yours.
Tracks for Planet Asia, Mad, Tragedy, Vinny Paz, Water,
talk that shit.
Willie Prez, Spoda, more. There's a lot.
Shit.
Recognize Ali.
Rec Ali, Conway,
my guy right there.
Word.
There's a lot.
Et cetera.
Yeah. But I always be shouting out the clothing first. I'm saying what we got on. I'm saying word. Yeah, man. Gotta shout out the clothing, yo. But how are you, my guy?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah, considering it's just gone 12 o'clock. I'm all right.
Yeah.
Oh man, yo. Word. You got a pint over there with you?
A pint? No, a bit of rum and coke.
Rum and coke action.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. I'm on some barrel aged Don Julio right now. It's a new Don Julio, man. The latest Don Julio.
I ain't got nothing. Nah, I mean.
Good. You don't need nothing, man. You need to dry out from your Mike's Hard Lemonade psychoses.
And that shit tastes good as fuck, man. Do y'all got that over there, HOBGOBLIN? You got Mike's Hard Lemonade over there?
Oh, I see that.
That's a Cuban Cohiba from my favorite guy, Primo Jab. Brought me.
How's that smoking, man?
Oh my God, they're so delicious. I got
good.
Like 8 more in the humidor. It's amazing.
There you go. Yeah, there you go, man. Enjoy. Nothing but the best, Carl. Nothing but the best for you.
True indeed. But we got HOBGOBLIN on the joint, man. He got like one of my favorite series of albums, not mixtapes, albums, Angels and Demons with Mav. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Boom. He's over there across the pond. He's our brother. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Word. The Three Lions, the Yankees. Word. We rocking and rolling, yo, right?
Indeed.
True indeed. So boom, let's go back to Genesis. How did you pick your name as HOBGOBLIN? Or why did you do that?
I suppose it's a less interesting story than you might think. I mean, I like comic book stuff, although I'm not into it probably to the, I know you're proper into like your comics and stuff, and I know people who are like really like super into their
I don't know anyone like
stuff.
that.
All that shit behind you, yo.
No, but I was talking to Carl before we came on air. I'm a secondary school teacher as a job. I'm a teacher, and I don't want the kids to know that I teach. I don't want them to know that what I do really. So I kind of thought I'm going to have to come up with some kind of pseudonym, and I like the idea that comes with these kind of like superheroes and supervillains of this kind of. On one side, they're this one type of character that kind of masks and hides this other thing that they are, which is that. So that was always kind of I always wanted to come up with a name or a persona that kind of represented that, because it is very much like night and day. Like you would never think that like a white middle class secondary school teacher would be making dirty, filthy hip hop beats. You just wouldn't. So.
Right.
That's why I went with that kind of pseudonym. I thought that it kind of suited, and the HOBGOBLIN's kind of, it just sounds like this swampy and dirty. So I just thought, yeah, man, I'll go with that.
So indeed. So has any of your students ever found out?
No. No.
Jay Petter from Mind Force is also he's a high school teacher, and he does hardcore.
And that's
hardcore. It's metal. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of funny he's wearing that shirt, and I didn't know you were a teacher. Yeah. So it's like, y'all both definitely like night and day from what y'all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know you were a secondary teacher, bro. That'd be so crazy. But you don't want any of your students to be like, yo, that's cool. Do you think? I think that's cool. Like, you don't think your kids would think like, hey, dang, my teacher makes these crazy beats with these. Yeah. You don't think? Do you want some of your students to find out when they get older, or you just want to just like, nah, you just want to separate it?
Yeah, I like keeping it separate. I mean, I'm not one of those kind of teachers who, there's two types. There's teachers who don't like kids and who are very kind of like super. Like harsh and really kind of strict, and I'm not that. I don't let them walk over me either. I like that barrier. Do you know what I mean? Like I've told some of them that I make music.
Okay.
Because I teach media studies, so we do sound design, and we might do stuff on on Adobe, what we use on Ableton. We've used a couple of times.
Oh yeah, Ableton, yeah.
and some of the Adobe stuff as well to make like radio adverts and jingles and stuff. So I would say, if the opportunity arises where I can tell them, oh, this, I make music and blah, blah, blah. Have you heard of, and they always say, like, what kind of stuff do you make? And have you heard of like Mobb Deep? Have you heard of like Wu-Tang? I'm trying to think of some of the bigger 90s groups, and some of them have, and some of them are like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I'd never like play them in my stuff because I don't want them to find me. You know what I mean? I like to keep that distance.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, you got to keep that separation.
I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how you do it. I'd be Iron Man. I would be all on TV saying, "Yeah, motherfucker, I'm Iron Man." Yeah, word. Yeah.
That's why you're a rapper and not a producer.
That maybe is it. Yeah.
True indeed. Yeah, but that okay, your students sitting right there, and you think they think you play the violin or some shit when you say that?
Right.
Like,
no, I tell them I'm cooler than you are all the time.
Oh, okay.
They try and, you know what kids are like. They all think they're the center of the universe. That's why I enjoy teaching so much, because they're just fucking hilarious, because they think everything they say and do is the most important, best thing. I'm like, I'm way cooler than you lot are ever going to be. Like, shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's dope. I love that.
So indeed. So what age you start getting into producing? Like when you decided like, hey, I'm going to try this out, or you just came across it?
To be honest, because obviously I've grown up in the UK. I grew up outside of London.
Okay.
A couple of hours over on the south coast. So hip hop was kind of not particularly accessible. We had like Radio 1, Tim Westwood.
Okay,
I've heard of
that.
He was like the big guy, and he'd do stuff with like he'd have Funkmaster Flex on his shows, and that kind of that was what got me into DJing. I was a DJ way before I was a producer. I was always wanted to be a DJ. I remember listening to Funkmaster Flex cutting between two records and just trying to work out, because I've never seen it happen before. We didn't have satellite TV. We weren't seeing the videos, the Black Moons and all these groups that were massive back in the 90s. Just wasn't able to see it. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking he was just like moving the needle. So he was just like cutting. I didn't realize it was even like cutting between two separate records. I just thought he was like moving the needle back and forth to like do the. And it took me ages to work out what he was actually doing. So yeah, but once I kind of, I worked out how to scratch and how to kind of cut between two records, and I was kind of hooked from that point on, really. And then production, I remember I used to DJ in a bar in Colchester when I was about 17, 18, and so I played. They were called AV8 records, like the party starter records, had like the vocal chops and like the big like instrumental, like hip hop instrumentals, and they kind of chopped them together, and they like became these like party records. And I played one of them, and I think that there was a promoter in there from London, and I think he thought I'd produced it. So then he was like, after my gig, he was like saying, "Oh yeah, you have to come up to London, and you have to do some production." I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I'd never heard of an MPC. I had no idea how to actually make music. I just knew how to kind of play it.
To mix it together, yeah.
Just mix it together on decks. But I think that from then on, that kind of sparked my interest. And then about a year or two later, when I was at university, I got introduced to what was the DAW? Forgotten what one it was called. Reason. Mm-hmm. And yeah, got introduced to that. Got a cracked copy of that on my laptop and just started pissing about with it. Moved to Birmingham. Got a cracked copy of Fruity Loops.
Cracked it up, yeah.
Yeah, and that was it. From the Fruity Loops, I just found, I'm still on it now. I just found it so intuitive, so easy to use, so I could make it do what I wanted it to do with fairly easily. Mm. Easy to sample and easy to stretch and time pitch your samples. And that was it. I just from there really got given a crack copy by one of the engineers at a radio station I was working at in like 2001, maybe something like that.
Yeah, that's when I was graduating high school right there, yo. Yeah, 2001. I wasn't thinking about no music.
Now, did you go to school for music? Were you like, what were you studying when you were in university?
fine art. Did a fine art degree.
Nice.
I'll be honest, until I wanted to be a teacher, that wasn't even worth the paper it was written on, mate. I literally couldn't do anything with it.
My wife has a fine art degree, and you can't do anything with it. You're right.
That's what they say.
It was a huge shame because it's only years later I found out there's so many jobs available to you in the arts, in terms of like theatre design and painting like props for films and TV shows and doing backdrops and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But we were all, when I was at university, it was all right. You're going to have, you're only going to make like £2,000 a year. You're going to need to kind of get your work in galleries, and it was all very kind of this one way of doing it.
Yep.
Which is annoying, really, because if I'd have known there was other, I didn't know. Just if you don't see it, and that was before now, when everything's just on the internet. You just find out anything about anything. It wasn't really like that back then. Even in the early 2000s, it was like if you didn't know, you didn't fucking know. So yeah, I would have liked to have, if I could have done it all again, in terms of, because obviously I did a fine art degree because I enjoy art. I'd have liked to have pursued something more along those lines. If I'd have had the opportunity to do that and see what was out there, which is why with my students now, I do try and, sorry to go teachery on you, but I do try and give my students kind of a broad understanding of like, okay, media studies isn't just about being an actor or a camera person. Like there's like 100,000 different jobs you can do.
Exactly.
So much.
So what medium did you work in? Like, were you into painting, printmaking, photography? Like what kind of mixed media? What did you like to do when you were in?
It was kind of, I did paint and I can paint, but my final piece ended up being like an installation piece around movement and sound. Again, just kind of trying to kind of bring it into my DJing. To be honest with you, I was not. I didn't study as hard as I could because I was too busy like DJing, really, and producing, like
partying,
doing stuff,
partying and bullshitting,
doing other stuff that was nothing to do with my degree.
Bullshit.
Okay, so in order to not monopolize the conversation about visual art, I do want to just say real quick that my wife was also really big into installation art. She painted, she did printmaking and a lot of different things, but she loved building installations. And when you say kind of movement and sound, there was a piece that she did that had over 10,000 nails done into a wall. And what she did was they were in just odd rows at different, like they would kind of sway a little bit. And then she linked them all with rubber bands. So the whole thing was this huge kind of linear rubber band kind of connected with nails just covering the whole wall. And as you walked up, people could just run their hands up it and it would make different noises depending on where you were, running it, much like a harp or something like that. And it was this amazing piece that when we had to take it down, it took us like 4 or 5 hours to take the piece down.
God dang.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so at some point I would love to just rap with you about art.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. No, we'll do that. Maybe not now, but
right.
Yeah, man, definitely.
So indeed, I still don't know a lot of ways to get into certain things. You know what I'm saying? But people could tell you nowadays. That's what the great thing about this. It's just like the spoken word about this community right here. 6-7 years ago, people didn't know how to print up their own CDs. People didn't know how to get to the labels and stuff. And now there's a way to make a decent amount of money off this music.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
probably 9 years ago.
True indeed.
Yeah, it's positives and negatives to it. You know what I mean? There's definitely negatives to it all. But the positive thing is you can hustle your own corner and make a decent wage out of it. 100%.
That's a good way to put it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will though. I want to shout you out, especially for being a teacher, man. I feel like teachers are one of those underrated professions
100%.
That a lot of people look at and they just are like, okay, that's just a teacher. But if you don't really think about it, I mean, teachers are shaping our futures. Teachers are molding the society that is to come after us. And if you're going to be a cool teacher like you, who gives a broader understanding instead of just saying, no, this is what you study. This is this. You need to know this. That's it. No, there's no deviation. You can't be that oppressive voice and hope that something beneficial comes out from the people that you're educating. So I'm glad that we got people like you who are, top secret, involved super deep in the abyss, but at the same time, doing their civic duty out here molding the youth, man. That's important, man.
And yeah, I mean,
yeah, man. Well, yeah, trying. The big, the big thing that's going on at the minute, though, over here, certainly in the UK, is these kind of creative subjects. So I'm a media studies teacher, obviously, and the kind of subjects like that, and food technology, design technology, these kind of more creative subjects are being pushed out of the curriculum.
That's kind of happening out here too.
And they're trying to get kids to do this. It's called the baccalaureate over here, so it's more of the academic subjects. So you've got to do a language, which is important too. I'm not saying that doing a language ain't important, but you've got to do history, you've got to do a geography, and these kind of pushing kids a certain way. When I think it is important. Not everybody is academic.
That's true.
There's kids out there who are incredibly talented and are not very good at English, maths, and science. It just
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I think they get looked over sometimes. I feel like that's a problem with, I guess, government mandated learning, right? I feel like it's just kind of you fit into this box, this box, this box, or this box. And if you are somebody who thinks a little differently or looks at things a little differently, you might not find a place where you can excel, or you can activate your talents the right way, or have your true genius really appreciated. So, yeah, man, that's something that I think we, as we keep going with the internet, unfortunately, before it became a cesspool of porn and other gooky guck. I mean, you had access to be able to find anything in its purest form. That's what it is. It's this knowledge fountain for people that, hey, I really want to learn about this. But I will say, I feel like geography is definitely good. History is definitely good. People need to know those things.
Well, they are, but there's a fundamental difference in education in other places versus the United States, especially when you're talking pre-university.
Versus indoctrination. Yeah.
Well, the intention for school here was strictly to make better factory workers.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the whole reason they start, because, when they were founding this country, they couldn't give two shits about it. It was survive.
Yep.
But literally it was, the industrial age was coming, and we need to have better factory workers. And that's basically what school was set up for here.
That's why it's scheduled like the way that it's scheduled too.
It's not like that in other countries. And that's why the focus on education is a lot different in other countries than it is here.
Good point, Carl. Good point.
Also, I'm pretty sure, Hobgoblin, there's some kids out there that aren't good at taking tests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they just so it's like you can get all these quizzes right, or all these papers right, and it's time to take a test, and like they just freak the fuck out. And
that's why I like teaching what I teach, because media studies is the course that I taught a couple of years ago. They changed it, so it went from being 60% coursework and 40% exam to 80% exam and only 20%
like
coursework.
College.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like, if you go and work in the media industry, and I know because I've worked in it, you're not writing about it, you're doing it, you're making stuff, you're producing products. And that course was not allowing the kids that I taught to do that. So I changed. I said to my superiors, I'm not teaching that course here. I'm not doing that. We need to be doing a course where the kids are they're having fun. They're making stuff that they enjoy.
And getting practical experience.
So,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Well, let's move on, because we got a lot more to ask. And
so much.
This is interesting. But let's go to how did you find out about this lane? When was your first break into this lane? You know what I'm saying? It's still bugged out to me about this media shit, though, man. 80% test. The fuck out of here. Fuck that. I would have dropped out and sold drugs. Real shit.
No, hold on. Before we move past that, here's one thing I want to say. Some people they learn things and they absorb it and they take tests and they're able to regurgitate. Some people, they just memorize stuff and they're able to regurgitate it. They can't apply it in their real life, and some people just can't take tests. So testing, I feel like, is it's okay, but again, it can be skewed one way or the other. I feel like
I had an interesting conversation. Sorry to keep going on about teaching, but I did have an interesting conversation.
Teaching's cool, man. Yeah, teaching's cool, man. Talk about that shit.
I had an interesting conversation with one of my colleagues, and he was saying that essentially in a secondary school system, and it's probably the same in America, is really now the vast majority of subjects are exam-based subjects. And what are you teaching? You're teaching the kids to remember stuff. Like, the whole point is to, like you say, regurgitate information.
Regurgitate. That's it.
Why? Because
correct.
I can pick up that and find out anything I need to know inside 10 seconds.
Teach my kids how to do taxes. Teach my kids how to tie a tourniquet on the field.
Teach my kids how to critically think.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, absolutely.
Teach my kids how to make good decisions. Teach my kids how to investigate. Teach my kids to be curious. Finances. And they're the same things that you should be teaching your kids as well. Because that reinforcement has to start at home, right?
Yeah. And also, you've got to apply it. Whatever you're taught, you've got to be able to apply that.
Yep.
It's tough. I know this. I would like, back in high school, junior high, teach us how to balance a checkbook. Teach us how to keep our credit straight. Teach us how to clean ourselves properly. Teach us the fundamental values of why women and men are different and what women go through, so we as men can understand what women go through, having periods and children. And women teach us that shit. So the home ec class making brownies and spaghetti.
We used to have home ec.
Well, no, I needed to know how to make those cakes and all that type of stuff. That wasn't a waste of time. I had some delicious snacks that came out of
brownies?
That class.
You make brownies or you make spaghetti?
Yeah. No, I made German chocolate cake.
Word? I ain't make none of that shit. I made spaghetti, brownies.
It was fire too.
I forget what else I made. But then I wore that pregnancy thing on throughout school. The pregnancy belly.
Oh, the suit? Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I had a FUBU hoodie and a pregnant belly.
That's wild.
It's just bugged out, yeah. But yeah, high school is a real crazy time, I guess. I think it's better back then than right now. Anyway, yeah. What was your first indoctrination into this lane when you found out about this? You know what I'm saying? And then you got your first break with MCs in this lane of the abyss.
Okay, so I was kind of producing for some UK acts initially when I was working at a radio station here in Birmingham called Galaxy. So it put me into contact with kind of some of the big-ish UK hip hop artists. So I did a couple of tracks with a guy called Ruckus, who actually had a number one. He had a number one here that literally went to number one in the pop charts, not with the record that I made.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, damn, what's your joint? That's what's up.
Yeah, I'd be set for life if that was okay. I wouldn't be teaching now, mate, if that was the case. I'm telling you that.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah, that would be what it would.
You're calling them anyway. Word. Go ahead.
So I did some stuff with him. I had some bits played on there's a station here called One Extra, BBC One Extra, which is like
Benji B?
Yeah, he's on there.
He's still on it?
Okay.
To be honest, I don't really listen, so he might.
Me neither. I don't know. But shout out to DJ Dread Eye. He knew Benji B and those guys.
Okay. Yeah. So I had a couple of tracks played on there, and then kind of didn't really go anywhere. I kind of, to be honest with you, I lost interest in music pretty much. I made the transition from being a radio DJ to a teacher. I wasn't really liking the kind of the hip hop that I grew up on, the hip hop that I enjoyed, that kind of hard boom bap stuff. Was kind of done by that point, and it was very much kind of started transitioning over to this kind of more trap-esque sound. I wasn't really with it, so I kind of ducked out for a little bit and didn't have any idea about what was big at the time, what was going on musically at all. And then started, for whatever reason, just thought, I'll start making some beats again. At SoundCloud, kind of dived into SoundCloud and started putting stuff up. And then obviously on SoundCloud, it's a bit like the recommendations thing you get on Spotify kind of would come up wherever it would come up on the SoundCloud page. And I saw a record from Huss Kingpin and I think Giallo Point produced it, called Star Wars or something. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was like new, but good. And that was the rabbit hole. Do you know what I mean? I just dived into that, and then from Huss, you find out about the Griselda, which were kind of on the up at that point. So I kind of got tapped in with what Conway and them were doing, and then you find out about this person and that person, and then it's just goes out and out and out. And I was kind of making a few remixes for a collective. They don't do anything anymore, called the Cloud City Projects. It was a guy. He was a rapper, and he had all these contacts with all different MCs. One of which was Jamil Honesty.
Jamil Honesty,
yeah. So
I see you do a lot of work with him.
Yeah, loads. Yeah, so me and him met through that, and then kind of out of that Cloud City group, I don't think there's really anybody else that I know of now who's kind of doing anything. I mean, maybe they're still making music, but not where I'm hearing it. And me and Jamil were kind of the ones that kind of just kept going with it, really.
Yeah.
And then that was from Jamil, and then people hear what you're doing, what I was doing with him, and then it's, you just start making connections with people and through social media, and it kind of went on from there, really.
Yeah, that's crazy, yo. Yeah, that's a good one to get into, yo. Huss is the glue, I think, that glued everything together in the beginning, because if it wasn't for Huss, I don't think there's no Makami Griselda connection.
No, it's mad that's how I got in, and I didn't even know. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even know that. It was just happened to be, just completely by accident.
That's the dope part, though. That's when it's really real. That's when you get those warm fuzzies, right? When I think you just organically discover something. That's one of my favorite joys. Like when I have a playlist playing, and all of a sudden something randomly comes on. I'm like, oh shit, what's this? And you're just like, oh yeah, I needed this in my life. For example, today it just happened. I just got this Jamal Gasol featuring Dark Low. It's called Futch.
Oh,
it's been
I've heard that.
It's been out forever, but I just heard it today for the first time, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? I just love it when that's the best part about this era right now, is that you can truly trust to not have to push the button to skip anymore. if you're doing random, if you just have a random playlist going, like, you can just sit there and zone out and just keep occasionally looking up, like, oh, what's this? This is dope. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, what's this? Yeah. Oh, this is dope. That's what's hot right now.
I was saying that to my wife today. We were, fuck Spotify, and the artists don't make anything like.
Oh, don't worry, the change is coming. The change is coming.
Platform's fucking every single artist, unless you're a massive Drake.
Absolutely is.
Rihanna.
Even Drake and Rihanna are getting fucked. I mean, all they're getting is probably $50,000 checks, which is a lot more than everybody else, but still.
But it is Spotify a proper if you listen to something that you like on Spotify, the recommendations are like good recommendations.
Absolutely.
You can leave that shit on for hours and you're not going to hear anything that you think, what the fuck's that doing on that playlist? Like, where did that come from?
No, I beg to differ. There's this one song that always pop on my shit by this dude named Miles Lorette. I think it's called Movie Theme or some shit like that. And I'd be like, why the fuck does this motherfucker Miles Roulette always come on my fucking playlist? This is the only time.
Who is his spider web? Who are his, if you like this?
Nobody.
Who's he linked to?
Nobody.
Miles Roulette, huh?
Miles Roulette. There you go, right there. I typed them in.
That's why you got to give feedback and put that little thumbs down. I don't want this.
I don't want this. Yeah.
And he's from Orlando.
Okay, he's from Orlando. All right. Who else does he sound like? What's the list? What's the recommends?
He don't sound like none of us.
So what's the recommends under him? Because usually they have a picture.
I don't know. It'd be like Makami and Droog and Fahim, and then his song will come on.
And then this guy.
No. Yeah, I posted it one time on the joint. But yo, Hobgob, you are totally right. But this is the only song I gotta find it. He don't even have that much music. Called Movie Score. It's called Movie
you
Score.
You gotta train your algorithm, man. I think it's gonna happen every once in a while. Don't get me wrong, I get a dud every once in a while.
Give it feedback.
But it's few and far between right now. It's really been few and far between for at least the past, I'll say at least a good 17 months. That's how good my shit has been.
I'm gonna put the shit on when it dropped Tuesday. I'm gonna put the clip of Miles Red Movie Score on there and tag them and be like, "Yo, do y'all how y'all you think it's hot?" Word.
Okay,
because Spotify wants me to love it.
I think the beat is decent if it's someone else is rapping on it.
6 people are about to go and look it up right now. 6 people are literally about to go look it up right now. Like, okay, shit, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I mean,
Miles Red Movie Score.
You know, just because it ain't your cup of tea, maybe somebody else would be like, "Oh no, I fuck with this Miles Roulette guy."
Yeah, I mean, boom. Like somebody like
I hated everything that the Abyss podcast said, but then they got me onto this Miles Roulette guy, and so it's
this is bullshit.
Exactly. I hate all this Abyss shit, but this Miles Roulette guy, now you're on to something.
He's it.
85 episodes, y'all finally told me some shit I want to know.
Yo, but boom, but you, I kind of enjoy whack shit. Yo, Hobgob, you work with a lot of spitters. This is not a spitter. I kind of enjoy ratchet, bad music sometimes. My booty hole brown. Pound Town.
Wow.
That shit is hilarious.
But no wonder it gives you bad songs in your suggestions because you're listening to bad songs.
That's why I told
you don't blame Spotify for that.
That's on YouTube, not Spotify. I'm watching the music video of these ratchet hoes.
Your device is keeping track of everything you're doing.
All your devices. That's what cookies do, man. They cross across platforms and track your preferences, man.
Oh no, that's why all of your apps want access to your microphone.
Yeah,
so they can listen to you.
Yeah. So I can hear the words that you're saying.
So if I start talking about clown shoes later on, I'm gonna see an ad somewhere for Joe's Clown Shoe Emporium.
Don't you want to go to the circus, Carl? The circus is in town next week.
I'm telling you, that shit knows.
Yeah, fuck you, Siri.
Oh, I got it. I'm looking for a brown skin, 5'9" Dominican chick with no babies that likes to have sex a lot. My address is, I'm joking.
Pornhub is going to start flooding your phone with ads.
Oh, shit.
So all of a sudden she pops up.
That'd be crazy if Siri supplied you, if Siri works for you, man. Let me know if that works out.
Well,
now you're using the algorithm, Lukey. Way to go.
Wow. So boom. Wow. Okay, boom. 2023. So are you still working with just Fruity Loops or do you run it through other programs, stuff like that?
Just Fruity Loops.
Wow, that's dope, man. You can do it. Yeah, that shit ain't not simple though, man. I don't know how the fuck y'all do that shit. Y'all make it sound intricate. How about that? The word I gotta use?
Yeah. I get. Sometimes I feel like I think everyone gets it though. In some way, shape, and form. This kind of imposter syndrome thing, like, what I'm doing actually any good? And what I do, is what I'm doing worth anything? Am I? I get that all the time. I have conversations with people I work with all the time. You get these kind of bouts of like self-doubt and like, I'm not as good as I used to be, and But I just keep. The thing I like about Fruity Loops is by the nature of the software, almost it kind of forces me to keep it simple. I mean, you can go. There are producers. I remember reading an interview from Pete Rock back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and he was going on about each individual. And the guy who was there doing the interview saying, each individual hi-hat is kind of moved ever so slightly and kind of pitched differently. And he's kind of going into like, fuck that, I ain't got time for all that shit. You know what I mean?
That's
I've
so me.
I've got a wife. I've got like other things that I like doing. I'm not changing the pitch and fucking tiniest little. No.
That's so me.
Oh damn!
I do all that.
Disregard that
shit.
Email.
Dig all into my WAV files. Yeah, I want to see everything.
Yeah. I mean, fair play. Pete Rock's a legend, but no. And I don't need to. I don't see the point of doing it if I don't need to do it. It's not like I'm sending beats to these rappers and they're like, "Well, those hi hats could be more intricately dealt with."
I like it, but the hi-hats, they're not hitting for me.
Yeah, they're just, you haven't.
Have you gone through and turned up each single one? Maybe that'll change it.
I will say this though, imposter syndrome, as long as it doesn't cripple you, will be a driving force to continue to keep you looking at your stuff from an outside opinion and really trying to elevate yourself. Whereas people that are a little too confident, I think, and we kind of had a conversation about a basketball player the other day in the same vein. I think you don't push yourself as much if you think you're already there.
Yeah, it's a fine line. It's a very fine line between arrogance and overconfidence and like you say, crippling self doubt. Yeah, you need to kind of swim somewhere
that balance.
In between that. I think to be able to put music out at all, because otherwise you just wouldn't put anything out.
Right. To be able to say I'm pretty good, but I'm not where I want to be.
That's it exactly. That's it. You got to have that
statement.
You got to be able to have confidence and know that you're doing what you do, and you're the only person that does what you do. But at the same time, I think it's perfectly normal to feel like, but I'm not there yet. I'm not the greatest yet. I want to be better.
Yeah,
we should always be striving to be better. You know what I mean?
I'm not the next revolutionary hip. You know, I'm not going to change the face of hip hop production in the world. Like what? And maybe I will. Who knows? You know what I mean? Someday.
Maybe.
I'm not going to put that pressure on myself and try to get to that level, because, like you say, I'm never going to fucking do anything otherwise. Like,
it's never good enough.
Exactly. Do I have my own sound? Do I have my own distinct way of doing stuff? Does it give me my own identity? Yeah, I think it does.
Absolutely.
It does.
And one of the best things about, I guess, this culture is we put out stuff. I know rappers that just don't ever put out shit. Put it out there. Whether you think it's perfect or not, put it out there. What's perfect to you or what's trash to you, someone else might like. Even if it's your shit. I remember I almost quit in like 2011, 2012 because I was punching in on verses. And the crew I was with, they was like, man, you got to do it one take. Man, you got to do it one take. I'm like, but I said like 127 words in this shit, like at a fast pace. You got to do it one take. I was like, I'm a failure. Then my homie V Sharp hit me and said, man, don't do that shit one take. As long as the breath control. Then he told me the nigga from Nappy Roots punched in all the time. I'm like, really?
I saw a video. Sorry to cut you. You go. I saw a video of Static Selector doing a track with Lil Fame. Mm-hmm. And Lil Fame punches in literally every 3 words. Like he does 3-word stops. Right, let me hear that again. I couldn't believe it. How many times he did it. Like, you've been rapping for like ever. Like, why are you still doing like 3, 4, 5 words at a time? But if that's how you work,
it's probably the energy that you get. Like I see the pros and the cons of the punch in, because I'm also from the school of do it in one take. Like, and now I've just started getting into punching in and piecing it up, and I feel like it's a good thing to do, because you can. Once the breath control just sounds that much better.
That's what he said. Yeah, the breath control.
You can really manipulate yourself just that much better. And you can keep that momentum, that energy stays high all the way through, instead of like having to catch your breath. And then you start, because again, that goes back to that chasing perfection thing, because then you start feeling like, damn, I'm not good enough. I can't say 876 words in a row without my breath, losing breath. Or how can I start to keep my breath better? No, man, stop pressuring yourself like that. Now, I don't know about punching in every 3 words. That's crazy, but
and I say, it pisses the producers off if you
absolutely
you have
a thing like yeah, exactly. A file that is like 6 pages long. It's like, what is the meaning of this?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? It's like a puzzle. What the fuck am I doing with this?
That
like
doesn't sound fun.
Puzzle. No.
I think because I've recorded a lot of vocalists. I've recorded a couple of rappers, but I think the end product is what's most important. Mm-hmm. But I always try to temper that with, if you plan on playing this live, you should be able to spit it.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you can spit it live, then you should be able to spit it in the studio. But again, that doesn't mean that if a part didn't come out well, we got to do the whole thing over again. Sure, we can punch something in. And I think a decent producer can make that sound fine. And, but I think they should always remember, you might have to play this live.
Yeah.
Good point, Carl.
I always manipulate, because I record here at the crib. You know what I'm saying? I always manipulate the performance track where I get to keep in certain words. Just like how the instruments you put in for Fruity Loops, your voice is an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I could I know I'm gonna have to take a breath. I learned this from Homeboy Sandman. He did the New Carpenter. Y'all are familiar with the New Carpenter song? New Carpenter by Homeboy Sandman?
No, but I'm kind of a fan of Homeboy Sandman just in general. I've seen his live show. I've seen his live show. I haven't really listened to his music, but I've seen him live, and he always impresses me.
New Carpenter, he says 1,000,000 trillion words. I thought to myself, how is he going to perform this shit? So I went to his show, and like he was rapping, and he like, then all of a sudden he has over here like, on the big screen, but that was louder than everything. So I realized in order to perform that song, there was no way in hell he's going to perform that song unless he had a hype man or he had this ad libs in there to where he could take a breath. Because when he said some shit, he said, then he rapped again. I'm like, oh, I get it. This is how you perform this song.
Yeah,
I get it. So you can manipulate yourself because your voice is an instrument. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I figure it. So like just how you formulate tracks. You know what I'm saying? As producers, your voice is definitely an instrument. That's why I figured out. So I don't really mind punching in. And I know I'm going to give y'all that one vocal track with the ad-libs. That's all y'all get. So y'all don't got to piece together this shit. Yeah, Hobgoblin might be mad. Yeah, there you go.
He says, yes, thank you, mate.
Shout out Dread Eye, yo. I hope I make your job easy over there, Dread Eye. If I'm not, I'm sorry.
No, you definitely do, man. When you do that, you definitely do.
Yeah, I remember. But here's another thing. Adding other things in, like effects. That's one track as well, huh? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a lot, man.
Yeah,
I'm just glad y'all know what y'all doing.
I'd rather have everything in individuals and let me mix it all together and get it right.
Yeah, or the each his own. I know. I'm just like Hobgoblin. I don't really, bruh. If you can do it, do you want to do it? Do you want to mix it? I want. Nah, I gotta. Oh shit! It's Wednesday, ain't it? Oh, Mandalorian's on. Mandalorian. I don't want to mix this track. I want to watch the Mandalorian.
Mixing you've got to have a certain amount of patience for that. Yeah. And it's the least fun part of producing.
I'm so OCD. I'm such a dork.
Yeah, see, for me,
I love it.
I'd rather send it off and have someone else do it. I can do it, and I will do it. And I like doing it to an extent because it kind of encourages me to re-listen to the track, and kind of then I might do some kind of more post-production, might add a little bit, or I might cut a little bit out, or rejig the track slightly to make it sound better.
Okay, so you put the ad-libs in, you put the tracks in Fruity Loops?
All in Fruity Loops, yeah. I track everything up in Fruity Loops, yeah.
And then you mix it in Fruity Loops, so you got the buttons right there, and that's just too much, man.
So Carl, this is how into mixing I am. I am willing to listen to my own voice on this podcast and play it 6-7 times in a row, going through audio, cleaning up coughs, cleaning up background noises, Lukey slamming Mike's Hard Lemonades on the counter, and I'll go through and I'll put up with listening to my own fucking voice like 7 times in a row. And then still watch the fucking podcast when it releases because I got to make sure I didn't fuck anything up.
I think you didn't do something. And you'd be like, yo, I could have did this better. That's probably, I know that. I knew that shit, yo. I knew Carl would do that shit.
Yeah, and I used to watch NCIS and I know all the episodes, so I'd just play in the background and the volume would be like really, really low. And I'll just sit for 8-10 hours and I can mix.
Wow.
Dang, man.
Dedication.
I cannot do that, yo. I don't think I could do anything for 8-10 hours. Like, that's why I can't have no computer job, G, or desk job. I got to work with my hands. You know what I'm saying? I got too much energy. You know what I'm saying? Word. And I can't do that, yo. Word. I'm like the Flash, just jittering around, yo. Jittering around. I can't do that shit, man. Fuck that, yo. Fuck that. Carl, that's me and Carl, yin and yang.
Why it works.
So how did you get in contact with Mavs to do Angels and Demons, yo? Like how did that happen? Because that's like one of my. I love the name. The title.
No, that's all down to Mav. He came. The whole concept and everything was him. He hit me up, looking for beats for Riggs and Mooch.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, great, yeah. I mean, I didn't even know who they were at that point. So I did my research. Like, fucking now, these guys are like proper. Yes, let me send you some beats. So I did. And he liked him so much that he took him for himself. I think. Yeah,
way to go, Mav.
And Mav. That's where Angels and Demons came from.
I wonder if Riggs and Mooch know that.
They probably do. That's some wild shit, man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've tried working with Riggs and Mooch, and they're great guys. Don't get me wrong, they're lovely. But Mav's definitely more, with me anyway, proactive. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough.
So indeed, he seems like whatever you need, he gets it back. Like, I don't know, he's the businessman. He's the businessman. He's the Abbott. He's the Abbott. Right. He's really like
I'm truly, and I mean this, like blessed, and what's the word I'm looking for? I'm lucky to have worked with him. He's a good. He's one of these people where you get him. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not acting. He's not being one way with you and different. Mav is Mav, and you get it with him. You get it straight down the line. He's honest, and he's a really knowledgeable, nice bloke as well.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely really easy to work with. Yeah, really easy to work with. And he's got loads, and he's just an amazing rapper as well. And for a long time, I think an underrated rapper in terms of the company within Decloth. I think a lot of people would have said that Riggs was like the main man, and obviously Mooch has got this very kind of distinctive voice. Rob Gates. Rob Gates is Rob Gates. Mm-hmm. And Mav kind of is like Mav, not the obvious choice of being like the number one guy, but he's fucking and I think people now, because he's released quite a few projects, I think people are up to par with him, up to speed with, okay, no, this guy is fucking actually amazing.
He's got some new work coming out too, man. Shout out his next release. I think it'll probably be out by the time, if not by the time this show comes out. It's coming out this week of this show.
Yeah.
The Dust to Dust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did Potato God make that whole project? Is that what you're saying or no?
Katola.
Oh, okay.
The producer's Katola. I think he's from South America. I think he's based out.
Wow. Okay. That's dope. Well, Dust to Dust. That's Mav's next project, man. Shout out Mav, man.
And we've had him on the podcast a couple times. What I think comes off with Mav right off the bat is he has so many great qualities as a person. He's brilliant. I mean, just so sharp. He is a natural leader, but not in the sense that he needs to be in control, but he just knows how to reach people, and you can tell just when you talk to him. And he's, when you say honest, he's who he is, and he never puts up anything other than, he just gives you Mav. That's, and he's such a dope individual.
Yeah. Here's how Mav gets lost in the fold. He's our age as far as the 40 somethings. Riggs and Mooch are the younger version who out there, they seem like they're more reckless than Mav. So that's why he kind of was getting kind of like, I wouldn't say lost in the fold, but because
I think between Angels and Demons, then
but Riggs was the popular. Riggs definitely was holding it down. Riggs is the one. Riggs, definitely.
But
to me,
that's on.
I agree. I hear what you're saying, Lukey, but
because of Mav though.
With Static, when he as well, Riggs was doing stuff with Static Selector, and he was
okay.
Part of that was
43, Shade 40,
45.
Yeah.
I would still say a lot of that is because of Mav though. Because Mav's intention was to corral them and to get them to focus on the talent that they had so that they could reach the potential that they had, right?
He's a businessman, yeah.
And so
he's a big homie, man.
He had felt
there you go.
He had felt like, he had his spotlight and he wanted to kind of focus on them, and he just wasn't ready to quit working. So he was going to continue to put out material, but he's been worried about the collective, the cloth as a whole. Yeah. And when you're doing that, you can't always be the guy that's jumping out front saying, "Hey, I'm this, I'm that." So, I credit to the continued success he has, even though he hasn't spent the time, to really put himself out on the front page like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of him being underrated, I think I'm talking about when we first started with the Angels and Demons project. I mean, if you look at it retrospectively and you actually think about it, he's probably been amongst the most prolific of them guys, because he's done, like you say, he's got the Katola projects. He did one with Yellow Point. He did one with Big Ghost. He did one Spanish Land.
That breakfast at Stu's.
He's done those.
That 98 miles, that joint is hard. Yeah, absolutely. That joint with Ason. Yeah, that was
that's one of the album covers of the year too. You know what I'm saying? Angels and Demons had Drill Bits on it. Drill Bits is one of my favorite songs that year. You know what I'm saying?
Ason strikes me as like the Canada version of Mav. A little bit.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Very much.
Yeah,
spot on. From different mothers. Yep. Shout out Ason, absolutely.
That's how that shit worked out so well, yo. They're both two good, knowledgeable guys too, yo. Like I feel like still both those dudes will punch you in the face. You say something stupid, like quick. It's like it's not. Don't prank those motherfuckers in the mall, motherfuckers. Don't do your YouTube shit on those guys, because they're gonna smile. Yeah,
who wants to go to the hospital?
Who wants to go to the upper
hospice? Room? Yeah, hospice. True indeed.
Yeah.
So name. I don't want to put you really on the spot. I know you got a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. I shouldn't even say that shit, yo, boy. Name 3 of your top projects you've done so far. You know what I'm saying?
3 of my top projects so far. Angels and Demons.
Which one?
Which one? The first one.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was that, and the first Mark music I did with Jamil Honesty were the 2 projects for me that kind of I feel like solidified me as a producer in what we would call the space of the abyss. Like, okay, like now, I'm here now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's 2 solid projects.
Yep.
They've both got vinyl releases. They've both had really positive feedback from the community. After dropping those projects, my follow account went up, like before Facebook fucked the whole algorithm on Instagram.
Yeah.
They were the first 2 projects where it went, my follower thing went up. Other than that, I mean, I'm really proud. I released my own project last year. The Awakening, I was pretty proud of that. Where it's just me producing and working with lots of different artists to kind of put out my own. And I actually released the vinyl myself as well. Like I had the vinyl pressed with my brother-in-law, and we put it out independently ourselves. So that one, for that reason. But the Death at the Derby stuff, or the Ballon d'Or stuff, that I did with Juco and that was
Bayo.
Good, that was good.
I always get these people's names wrong, man. Feo.
It's all right. That's what I'm here for, man. I got you, man. I don't want no MC. I don't want no MCs coming at us like, man, say my name right, bro. I mean, we got it. Pardon Lukey, man. He off the mic hard limited.
Shout out Feo though. That's a good brother, man. I need to call him. I think he called me yesterday while I was asleep. Anyway, boom.
Real quick, I don't know if you noticed in the clip that I cut last week, I had cut out the part where Lukey had messed up his name, Killy Shoot.
I always say shoot, shot. You know what I'm saying? Well, I be fucking up, yo. But what about the Hobgoblin? Explain to me how the Hobgoblin album got done. I know you got Huss on there. You got a whole bunch of dope features on there.
All 3 of them, right? You got 3 volumes of that joint. And shout out Matt Vinyl Hunter, man. He y'all teamed up on that. He's from down the road, right?
You're talking about the mixtape I dropped on Bandcamp. So those mixtapes are essentially every track where I've done like just like a one-off, or I've just took like a track off an album that I've done with an artist. It's just like it's a free mixtape I put up on my Bandcamp just for people to kind of be able to hear the stuff that I'm doing like all in one place. You know what I mean? Rather than have to go like searching for it and finding it. That's the reason why I did it.
That's dope. That's dope. Find all your Lucy's all in one place.
That's it, exactly. So obviously the first one I did a few bits with Chong Wizard, those
Chong Wizard,
projects.
Yeah, with the Mind Stone and all those shit, Soul Stone. Yeah, shout out Chong Wizard, man. I think he was going crazy when he did the Infinity Stone series. That bravo, dope concept. Dope
album cover art.
All his art was crazy. All of it was crazy.
Yeah, man. He did it when Marvel was still cool as well. Like I feel like
I still think Marvel's cool.
I don't want to upset these guys over here, but yeah, like when Marvel was like cool.
With the guy whose name is a whole Marvel character, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, people don't understand this. I'm Star Wars over everything. But Star Wars has been kind of lacking.
Yo, the Mandalorian is fire right now.
Oh my god, I love that show so much.
Very good.
Fucks with it.
It's very good right now.
Luke Cage is Marvel, but Star Wars taught me how to be Star Wars, and Wu-Tang taught me how to be a good person, I guess, or a hard worker.
Okay, so I'm going to say this about, because a lot of people are shitting on the Marvel movies and TV series and stuff.
Not me. I'm not. But yeah, talk your shit, Carl.
All throughout comic books, you've had great periods, you've had bad periods. Every comic book character has had bad story arcs and good story arcs. Mm-hmm. I'm here for the content. I'll take it. And if it's bad, I'll go, well, that wasn't the best. Because I've watched some pretty horrible superhero movies back in the day. Yep. And you know what? They were okay. I watched a Spider-Man show growing up that was so fucking weird, but it was cool. I'm down for it. So I'm still happy with Marvel. They can bring it. If I skip a show or two like She-Hulk, then so what?
There you go. I skip She-Hulk. Okay, boom. Thunderbolts. Punisher, Red Hulk.
I'm not looking forward to Thunderbolts, the movie.
No. I'm not looking through the comic book. I'm talking about the comic book when it came out.
Oh yeah, the comic book. It was cool.
It was inked by Dylan. And he did Preacher and Sandman. Yeah. And then like I was like excited. Yeah. So I was excited to read it. I opened up. It looked like Preacher and Sandman. So I didn't like it, how it was written, and how it looked. But it's just like movies. Like you have different alterations of the movie, different people write it. So I can't be mad at the concepts and what they put in there. You know what I'm saying? Just like some people like this person's beats, just somebody likes this person's beats. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like some people hate Run the Jewels. You know what I'm saying? Word. Other people love that shit. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm like 6 for 10. You know what I'm saying? 5 for 10, 50%. Some of that shit, I'm like, damn, that shit hurt my ears. Yeah. Yeah. But I like drum and bass and shit like that. So I can't really. I like fast shit too. So yeah, I fucks with it.
Yeah, I get pissed off when the studios fuck up franchises. I'm a big Lord of the Rings nerd, like proper Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Lore. With like I've read the Silmarillion. Like I'm like the whole story and everything. And that Rings of Power bullshit on Amazon was not the one for me. I didn't like that.
I didn't even watch that.
No, I missed it.
Don't bother.
It's terrible. It was mad, huh?
What do you think about the regular ones? Just the first Jackson 3 and then the second 3. Yeah, the 6.
Obviously the first 3 Lord of the Rings films are 3 of the best films ever made. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoy them. I watch them probably at least 2 times a year.
And just to have the scope that Peter Jackson had to film it the way he did and make sure that he knew, we're going to get all of this done and it's going to be cohesive. Brilliant.
Epic.
And even when he went against the law, so he changed things for the purpose of the film, it worked still. Mm-hmm. Like it fed into the story and it made it
like
an enjoyable watch still. Yeah. But Lord of the Rings, they were all the Rings of Power tried to do that and it didn't work. But the Hobbit films they're all right. I mean, I'll watch it.
That's good.
They were good.
Did you like the Hobbit cartoon? Did you like the Hobbit cartoon? Yeah, the original Hobbit cartoon.
I've not seen it, to be honest. I've not watched it.
I ain't seen that shit either.
Are you talking about the one from way back, like in the 70s or something?
Yeah, from early 80s, 70s, maybe. Something like that. Yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it. That's definitely legit. That's absolutely legit.
Yeah, they were.
I'll share that.
Yeah, those are definitely good.
Well, I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fans because Gandalf's Magneto, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, same actor. Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm like, yo, man, why the fuck he ain't been in the metal, son? Like,
that's a different, that's a different variant, man. It's a different multiverse.
Yeah, I have a song called, what is that shit called? Will Smith. And I bring the parallels to all the different characters from movies and superheroes. Like Tony from Skins is Beast. The Flash was Apollo Creed. Will Smith is Deadshot. And he's also Hancock. Like I did all the parallels. Because those parallels, like why the fuck is the Human Torch fucking Captain America?
Right.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, why is the Human Torch Killmonger?
Why is Deadpool Green Lantern and a poor version of Deadpool?
Right. Those movies were not out when I made this song.
Damn you, Deadpool! Who are you?
Yeah, I said I keep the shit hot like some I don't know, something like Deadshot, Hancock. Nah, getting jiggy with it. Yeah. But the parallels. But yeah, that movie fucked me up when I saw Gandalf as Magneto. I was like, yo, man, I don't even want to watch this no more, man. You got it.
You missed out. It's a hot ass movie, man. It's a hot ass movie.
And they work. And you're right. Those are 3 great films. I watched them, but it still fucked me up. I was still like, I didn't read the books, so I don't really know if everything was correct. You know what I'm saying? Or I didn't know. Yep. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to read the books to enjoy the films at all. I think they did a good job, a really good job of translating the best bits of the books and then adding their own stuff.
Yeah,
I would encourage it.
Was stunning.
I would encourage it only because they are both fantastic in different ways.
Yeah, good answer.
And it really is great. It happens a lot with Stephen King novels where the book and the movie are so different. You either like one or like the other. I think back to Hobgoblin's point, if you do decide to read it, you will find that even though there are differences, you'll love it just as much.
Good point, Carl.
The Watchmen ended differently. The Watchmen ended differently. Yeah. Also,
that's true.
Mangas, you miss out a lot of stuff when you don't read the manga. You watch the anime. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of cussing, nudity, a lot of good shit. But back to the music.
The fun stuff. All the fun stuff.
Wait, Carl. Pretty much, what do you have?
Shoot, I got some actually. All right, so
pause.
Thank you. I mean, don't pause me. I want to get some. But anyway,
baby number 2.
But anyway, Joe. So all right, so I want to take it back to across the pond. All right, you're in Birmingham. That's
right,
the middle of the country, right? London is what, like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from you, south, something like that.
Yeah, and then just over 2 hours. Yeah.
Geography.
Okay. Man. All right. So then, man, I told you, I love it. Good. I love that stuff. I love that. I'm into that stuff. Right. You're next door to Wales. That's cool. How do you enjoy moving around in the UK? What's that like as far as traveling? Because in the United States, like we go to different states, like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to LA for the weekend, or
I'm going to Miami.
I'm going to Miami and stuff. Like what type of vacations do you take, or where have you been and you've seen some dope hip hop in the UK? Where's the last show that you caught? Do you have to go all the way down to London? Do you go to like Wales to Cardiff or something? Do you go to Edinburgh? I mean, I know that's probably way far north. Liverpool. I mean, what's your neighborhood?
To be honest with you, 100% honest, I don't really catch hip hop shows. I don't really go.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I don't know. Probably London. I reckon. I want to try. To be fair, I want to try and get to the Rome streets. Gig down in London, I think.
Coming up
in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. Yeah, and I think it's on the same day as we're doing teacher strikes. So, so I might go down to London, do the march in the day, and then catch the show in the evening, and then drive back up. So it might be a good opportunity. to catch my first show. But in terms of like holidays and stuff, like Cornwall, we're down south, on the southwest. That's beautiful, like beaches. Like I learned to surf down there because I can actually I can actually get up on the board as well, like stand up. Because we used to go to Cornwall every year as camping with my family. So Cornwall's the place to go if you want to go on holiday. Wales is nice as well. If you want to go on like walks or you see the mountains, and there's some nice beaches in Wales as well. To be fair, it's a nice part of the country.
Do you go to the Lake District or any of that type of stuff?
Yeah, I've been up there walking with my dad. Yeah, because my dad's big on like walking out in the countryside and going on walks. And to be honest with you, in terms of like being more healthy and kind of corresponding with my disinterest in football, I've kind of steered that more to like running and the gym and just generally just trying to be more healthy, to be honest with you. So we did like a walk, like a mental health walk with the gym that my wife goes to last weekend in a place called Shropshire, which is like a bit like the Lake District, like mountainous and scrambling up rocks and all that kind of stuff.
The Shropshire Slasher.
Yeah, man, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I heard that in a rap.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
What is that about?
The Shropshire Slasher. He was like a serial killer or something up in the city of Shropshire, if I'm not mistaken.
There's been a few serial killers in those kind of like
It was also a bit that they did on Bugs Bunny.
Oh, maybe okay. There we go. Slasher.
See? That's all he would say.
Yeah, but yeah, no, there's some nice like if you like your mountains and you like getting outside and getting the fresh air and doing that kind of stuff. There's a few good places like that in the UK. But then if you like your city breaks and you like the city life and bars and that kind of stuff, then Manchester's great. Liverpool's great. Yeah, London obviously.
More my speed.
I'm still discovering more of what we've got to offer here in Birmingham, and kind of more recently been trying to get myself out of my bedroom where I'm sitting all day just like tapping on a keyboard and putting things in Fruity Loops and trying to be more of an outdoors person, but in terms of the music as well, just getting out and about and meeting like actual real people and having those kind of real life interactions and working with other producers and rappers and musicians, singers.
So indeed.
Have you met up with Matt Vinyl Hunter?
No, I haven't. No, not yet. But
the Wall Street Show, probably.
Yeah, probably. You probably see him over there.
Definitely. Yeah, if I go there, he's pretty bang on. He's going to be there. But yeah, no, I've not met him face to face. I speak to him quite a bit on social media because he's a like-minded guy. He's a nice bloke.
Craig Dyer, he's over there too.
Yeah, Craig too. Yeah.
Oh, he sold you that. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's why we don't talk. That's why we don't talk before the podcast, because you missed the whole story about the big ghost hoodie you got on. Yeah. Word. Yeah. We was talking about the big ghost hoodie earlier.
No, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
But no, you're not depriving me. You're depriving the people by not sharing. Please share.
Right. That was a private moment.
Brown. Come on, man.
I bought a big ghost hoodie from Bozak. It's obviously Bozak.
Yeah, Bozak. Bozak.
I bought one off him, with the grey one, and it went missing in the post. And they're not, as we know, they're not. It was like 80 quid. That was before post and packaging. So it was like 100 with the post and packaging. It's over 100 quid gone. I did message Bozak like, it's gone missing in the post. He was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Blocked.
Yeah. I don't think he blocks me, but it's not up to him.
No, I know. I'm fucking with you. Shout out Bozak. He ain't like that. He's
a good dude.
He's absolutely, bro.
Yeah. But anyway, I never got the hoodie. But then Matt Vinyl Hunter was selling obviously a load of his records and some of his merch. And initially I wanted the black one anyway. I preferred the black one, but they were out. When I ordered the grey one, they were sold out. Yeah, so I managed to get it in the end, but through Matt Vinyl Hunter.
So indeed. That's a good story.
I sorted him out a record the other way as well.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I've got him a copy of the first Martin music.
Nice.
Word. That works out. In this community, that happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you can't get to buy the hoodie, they'll buy it for you. You know what I'm saying? That it's really a lot of love in this community. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But the whole line with Primo Jab said, you didn't get it in the mail, blocked. That's totally an El Camino move.
El Scamino.
El Camino, yo. Or give me $3,000 for the verse. Block.
Yeah.
Like, you paid El Camino $3,000 for a verse?
That was your first mistake.
That was, you deserve. If you're paying him $3,000 for anything, no.
Are you on Reddit?
I've used it, but no, I'm not like a member on there. I don't really know how to use it, to be honest with you. I've been on there and looked at stuff, but I've never really worked it out.
That's
I
where
don't understand it.
Yeah, that's where you hear your El Camino horror stories on there, like all the time. They really
hilarious, man.
They give it to. They're I think a lot
He's
of
quite the prolific gentleman out there when it comes to dubious business practices.
Yes. Yeah. So you got to go to the Griselda thread on Reddit, and just if you just go through there, there's so much. There's a lot of new fans. Okay, the E. coli beat from Alchemist and Earl Sweatshirt that said was the most prolific beat he's done, more than The Realist by Mobb Deep, Keep It Thorough by Prodigy, Floor Seats by Makami.
I don't want to listen anymore.
There's one more. But it said E. coli by Earl Sweatshirt. I have never even listened to E. coli
Never even heard that. Never even heard it.
But they said that was his most prolific beat. I was realizing
absolutely not. Who are these people?
That thread is not for me. That thread is not. The Realist?
Who are these people, man?
By Mobb Deep? With Cool G Rap?
We Gonna Make It. Keep It Thorough.
Oh my God. I think We Gonna Make It was on there as well.
There?
Can I?
Yeah, but E. coli, yo.
Can I question the use of prolific?
I don't know.
He can be a prolific producer because he produces a lot of stuff, but how is a beat prolific? I think the whole thread is garbage just because of that.
Yeah, it's a different word they meant. Most astonishing beat.
I mean, maybe it was a different. I don't know. I think I screenshotted it, but yeah.
Most profound beat.
It's just funny. Sometimes I go on there just to. I guess go on there to get angry sometimes.
I mean, we have a Brit on. I think we should try to adhere to the Queen's English as much as we can.
Fair enough.
True indeed. Do you have any other hobbies besides making music, Hobgoblin?
Yeah, I like running. Big into my running.
Working out.
Yeah. Do you marathon at all?
Yeah. Well, I say I haven't done a marathon yet. I've done a half marathon. Did that last year in. I don't know what it would be in Fahrenheit. It was like 31 degree heat. It was like the hottest day we'd had in England for fucking years.
Now, what's a half marathon in kilometers?
In kilometers, that's 21 and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's in terms of like racing. That's the racing in terms of me trying to run as quick as I can. It's not a race as such, but that's the furthest I've run. But I do like 5K, 10K, half marathon. I signed up for my first ultra later on this year.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be doing that's a 50K up in the Peak District.
Damn.
Yeah.
You gonna run the whole thing? You gonna run the whole thing, or you gonna take?
The hills you walk, and then you run the flats and the straights. You could, if you tried to run the whole thing, I wouldn't make it round to anything.
Man, they got this mountain up here, Stone Mountain. People run up that whole shit, yo.
Fuck.
I'm like, yo.
Yeah,
I just walk up there. I walk briskly up it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they call that fell running over here. That's an art in itself. Yeah, running up a hill is
fuck that. And they run down. I ran down though.
I run down. Yeah, I run down.
That's fun, but I probably can't do it no more because I'm too old and my balance is not what it used to be.
Yeah, you gotta watch your calves as well. When you're going downhill like that, it can really mess your calves and your thighs up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, just the strain. You think it'd be easier, but it's just like the strain you're putting in under as you're going down. I love running. I mean, I ran my first sub 20-minute 5K last Saturday.
Nice.
That's what's up, man.
Nice. Congrats.
That ain't bad. Yeah, for a 40-year-old, that ain't too bad.
Oh yeah, I'm 42. I'm 40. I'm 40.
Actually, this drops a couple days after my 50th birthday. Sunday is
That's
my
right.
birthday.
That's right.
Yeah. Then
Happy
birthday,
Carl.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Happy
Still
birthday
kicking
for the
it.
weekend.
Wow.
You know what it is?
Oh my
though?
God.
I was talking to my brother-in-law about this the other day in terms of, like, I remember when I was a kid at school, like, seeing who I thought maybe they weren't 40, maybe they were younger than that. I just thought they were older. But like people in their 40s and 50s being like old and dressing old, dressing a certain way. Whereas I feel like now, like you can be into your 40s, 50s, 60s, and still be acting, dressing.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
a lot of that has changed. I think health-wise, people are a lot more active. Like my dad's in his 70s now. I think he's 77. Plays tennis like 6 times a week.
God dang.
Yeah, I mean, and is involved in charities and all these other things. And but his dad was broken by 60. His body was broken by 60. I think there was also a lot more need to be an adult with the generation of baby boomers that were coming out of parents that had seen the Depression. And so
World War II.
Yeah. I mean, when you were dealing with all of that growing up, you couldn't be a kid. There was no being a kid. And so as generations have gotten easier and we've seen less of that kind of trauma, I think it's easier for us to be freer and stay more youthful.
Yeah.
I think also something that you got to include in that is in this era, you got to, again, thank the internet because communities are able to find each other now. And you can age gracefully into your particular interest group, your particular community, and you can still have a place of belonging and active life in your community, whether you're a young person, in your 18, 19, 20s, or you're an elder statesman in your almost 70s, you can still exist in the same places. You can probably rotate in the same circles. And like what you're saying before, I think our parents and their parents, like I said, their parents were coming, like you said, off of the Depression, off of world wars, having to really just 16, you're leaving the house. I'm an adult now. I have to go to work. I have to go kill people. Whatever you're doing, right? Then our parents were coming from Joe, I'm serious. But then our parents are coming from the generation after that where it's okay. This is instilled in you. You had these hardworking, these hardened people as parents, and they raised you to. You're going to live the American dream, or you're going to live the industrial Western dream, right? You're going to get a job. You're going to work. You're going to get a home. You're going to have kids, and you're going to put your kids through college. You're going to do all that. So there's no time for you to really have social groups other than people at work. Like, I go to the bar with my work team or whoever the case is.
Okay, and I'm going to add one more thing to that. Think about most of us picture ourselves at a certain age, right?
Yeah.
So what is generally that age that you feel? It's basically that mid-20s kind of, I can tell you fashion-wise, I'm stuck in mid-90s because that's when I was, that's when I became truly independent. And, if I think about myself, I don't think about myself as a guy turning 50. I don't feel like somebody turning 50. Well, if you're looking at generations, what was the fashion for kids in the 40s? It wasn't cool clothes. They were wearing suits and shit, right?
Yeah, they were wearing little versions of grown-up stuff.
Right. Yeah. So when they were older, that's what they wore. They were stuck in that kind of, whereas you get into the 60s and fashion starts getting wild and you get bell bottoms and you get the disco era, and then you get hip hop, and you get all of these different things that
youth cultures.
Fashion has gone. So, if you look at hip hop fashion now, a lot of what the people are wearing in this lane is very reminiscent of fashion in the mid 90s for hip hop, much
Absolutely.
like the music is. But, you know, I think that has a lot to do with, you know, how we view ourselves and how we present ourselves.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've got a question actually have any of you got kids of your own, got young kids? I know Luke has got a daughter. Mm-hmm. How do you think your kids are going to grow up and cope and deal with the world growing up? Because it's what's happening now, certainly in terms of social media, and the effect and the importance it has on our lives. That's the world that our children are growing up in is completely different to the way we grew up. It's night and day.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
and the technology from just the 90s to now has exploded and pause. But it's so much different than anything that we grew up with, right?
Yeah.
You know, house phones with extra long cords in the kitchen so you could walk around the kitchen and talk to somebody
Caller
on the phone.
ID.
Star 69, you know.
Answer machines.
VCRs,
yeah.
You know, and then you think about everything that's changed with phones and with streaming and with internet and all these different things. Yeah, I mean, it
all
scary.
lives here now. It's all
scary
in this thing.
though. It's a lot harder to manage what your kids take in.
Well, I tell you this. I hope to instill in my son. Now he's only 7 months old now, but I really want to. Yeah, he's 7 months. It's wild. Mm-hmm. I really just want to make sure. Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I just want to make sure that he still has an understanding and an appreciation of certain foundational traditional things. Like I want him to be able to read books to find knowledge as opposed to automatically going onto the internet, because, you know, as we've seen on TikTok, my number one thing that I hate, you know, people will put up a stupid meme and say, did you know that Columbus landed on Mars first? Yeah, here, let me show you the proof. And it's like, people understand this, and people try to quote this stuff like it's real. Trick knowledge is real out here. Mm-hmm. Double speak is real. That 1984 stuff is real. Like that's one book. That's a mandatory book in my household.
George Orwell.
Yep.
He's definitely reading 1984.
Okay, here is me and Primo Jab have like minds when we think a lot. I want to say, even though sometimes we disagree on sports and stuff. But here's the deal. Here's the fundamental thing about us as parents. And the big thing is when you love and trust your parent, then you trust what they say. We are not fools. And we are not, even though we're older, having our first kid, I think it's the greatest thing about being in
Absolutely.
our 40s and having
Absolutely.
a kid. I would not know what to do right at 20 than at 40.
Nope.
So now that I know this, we do not let our daughter use the tablet. When she FaceTimes, we hardly let her hold the phone. You know what I'm saying? The shows that we let her watch is not Sharkadoodle-Doo or whatever. It's stuff to make her learn. It's Yo-Yo Gabba, and it's teach her how to be nice and polite. So now she says thank you and you're welcome all the time. You know what I'm saying? She can count to 20 skipping numbers. You know what I'm saying? She knows her ABCs. She sings all the songs on there. So all this educational programming, and she loves us and trusts us. I can throw the kid up in the air right now. She knows I want to catch her. You know what I'm saying? So when you love and trust your parents, it's easier and not fear them. It's big right there. Because when you fear your parent, you get to be sneaky. I feared my parents, so I snuck and did shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was hard as a rock, pause. So I used to sneak behind this motherfucker, sneak out and do stuff. I didn't even ask him to do stuff that even I probably could have did because I didn't want to get no, or I was scared to ask. You know what I'm saying? So when you love and trust your parent, you believe what they say. So we're not letting her do a lot of things. When she was a baby, we put comic books in the crib, books in the crib, so she could get a feel of the pages and smell. I love the smell of the comic book store. So she knows what the books smell like. She knows she could feel it. She could touch it. So she knows these tangible objects. You know what I'm saying? So that is one of the biggest things of her having organic things in her hand, watching programs to make her learn and not just have fun. You know what I'm saying? So now the stuff that makes her learn she asked to watch. There's a show called Akili and Me. It's an African kid, but it's good because it's like, it goes ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and shit. It's all about learning. We watch Yo Gabba Gabba. Halfway through it, she'd be like, Akili? I'd be like, you want to watch Akili? That shit kind of lame, but all right, let's turn this shit on, man. Yeah, let's learn these numbers and shit. So now when we go to the elevator, I point to every number and letter on there every time. And she's like, what letter is this? B. What the number is this? 8. What the number is this? 7. So she trusts us and she loves us, and it's going to mold her into be a productive person for God, not just for us. You know what I'm saying? Whoever God you believe in, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We are on the right path. I'm not with my baby mama. We are on a great path with this little motherfucker right here. That's why I don't want no more, G. It might not be the same way. So that's my long-winded answer right here. We are on a path where we don't want her to have so much technology in her hand. She loves us and trusts us. She's going to come to us for answers.
But I'm not disagreeing at all with what you're saying. I agree with you 100%. But do you not think that, and this is just me playing devil's advocate.
I know what you're saying. I know it.
The way the world's going, your kids also need to know how to use it in a responsible manner, obviously. But they need to know. If you remove it completely, I think you're then setting them up. You're putting them out into the world, and they're going to be
blind. No, I'm not going to remove it completely. You're definitely going to be responsible. I'm going to let them know that it's a tool, and it's just not going to be a mindless distraction. If anything, I'm going to allow him to know that there has the capability for fun in it, but at the same time, I don't want to get to the point, and my wife is very intentional about this also. We don't want to get to the point where, just like Lukey's saying, we're not going to put the tablet in his hand or the phone in his hand and just be like, okay, be quiet.
Shut up. Shut up.
You know, just zone out, tell you, you know.
A lot of parents do that, though.
No knock on them, but I feel like, you know, and again, you know, I'm a younger parent, so I don't know, because I've been laughed at when I say this to other parents. But, you know, I feel like that's kind of a cop out. But they'll say, hey, it's the easiest thing to do when you're trying to do 6 things and you're trying to distract this little ankle biter while you're trying to make dinner. I get it. I mean, it's a balance, but yeah, I don't know, man. Live and learn. I'm making it up every day as I go along so far.
Can I?
How? Real quick. My nephew, he is 15. He doesn't have a regular cell phone. He has a flip phone like his father, so he don't have to go on there and do any apps and nothing like that. We have an iPad. They have an iPad. You know what he does on the iPad? FaceTimes me and he codes. So he's been knowing how to code since like 10 years old on the iPad. So that's good. But the phone, when he needs to call people, he doesn't have any apps on there. Carl.
If I can give parents any advice, and this is grain of salt shit because I'm not a parent, but there's got to be a balance. If you're too soft or too hard, pause.
Yep. Pause.
You're going to direct your children indirectly into one form or another.
Absolutely.
So, you know, they say that the preacher, the police officer's kid is always the wildest kid. Well, it's because the parent is over strict and too controlling, right? Whereas, you know, you're going to go the other way. So I think as a parent, you need to have a balance. There has to be boundaries. There has to be discipline, but there also has to be understanding. Your kids are going to fuck up. Your kids are going to make mistakes, and they have to, because there's no better teacher.
You're not doing your job. I don't think if you're not putting your kids in situations where they can make those mistakes in the first place as well. Adversity is part of
it. Builds character. And if I want somebody that's going to go out into the world and conquer it, then I need somebody that's going to know how to pick themselves up. Because no matter how good you are, you're going to fall. And if you don't know that it's not the end, you pick yourself up and you go. And if you're going through hell, keep walking.
Yep. And if life knocks you down to your knees, remember, you don't got to suck its dick. You know what I'm saying? Word. No emotion. Like I say, knock you on your knees. You don't got to start sucking dick. Get the fuck up. Word. Also, it's funny how
so poetic.
It's just good.
That's profound.
Carl, Carl, Primo Jab. What else we have? What else do we have, yo?
So I'm gonna ask, what have you got coming up?
There you go.
I heard there's a new
question.
project.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. With somebody I know.
Yeah, me and Primo are working on a little project. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that dropping. What are you thinking about it, Primo? Oh,
he freeze?
He freeze on us?
Look at his face, yo.
Ah, that's hilarious.
Hey, yo, we Giddy in the face, yo. There you go.
Oh, there he is.
Happy.
Okay,
Yeah,
he was asking what you think of the new project.
He was asking.
Asking you, yeah.
Asking me what I think of it, man. You know, let me tell you something. Hobgoblin has anointed me with a very special pack, several of them, in fact, and we've cobbled together something that I think is very dope. It's slimy, it's grimy, it's what you want to hear, man. You're gonna have a good time, man. Jab Goblin, man, coming soon, man. It's sooner than you think, man. It's sooner than you think. Yeah, it's a trip into a whole different little chamber, man. Absolutely. Shout out my man across the pond, man. Hobgoblin, what up, man? You know, yeah.
Yeah, the artwork as well is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Shout out to
shout out E.
Yeah, man.
Oh, E did that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. I didn't even know that.
I got to put some little computer touches on it, but yeah, she knocked that out of the park.
Yeah, that's
she had fun doing
it
too. She's one that she can get pretty picky about commission work, and you know, she's somebody, she has to like the project, or else she'll drag her feet. And yeah, as soon as she got into it, she's like, "This is going to be so crazy," and she went off. So yeah,
it's a nice visual, man. It's a really good visual. I think it's a great creative touch, an interpretation of, you know, that mix of Hobgoblin and you know, the Primo Jab. You're gonna see it. You know, I'll probably post the cover now that we're talking about it. After this episode comes out, I'll post the cover so people can see it.
Put it in your story.
Yeah, I'll put it in the story. It'll disappear, but yeah, it's coming soon, man. You're gonna get to hear it soon enough. Hobgoblin's putting the final touches on it as we speak. He was working on it just mere moments ago.
Yeah, I sent you a video. Yeah,
he sent me a picture.
Let me talk shit at the end of that verse that I did, yo. Let me talk some shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, talk shit.
Yeah. Jab Goblin, yo.
Yeah, Jab Goblin. Coming soon, man.
I'm excited.
That's what's up, man. Yeah.
In terms of others, I'm just looking on my phone. What else I've got? Oh, Me and Substance are doing.
Nice.
Oh,
that would be dope.
Yeah, we've got some nice features, some dope features on there as well. Actually, we're almost done with that. Me and Josiah finally getting around to it as well. I've been chasing him.
I know you got some
Josiah.
Yeah, you got some loosies with Josiah.
Like two fucking 3 years, man. He's literally got like folders and folders and folders of fucking beats that I've sent him, and finally. After making a project with pretty much everybody else in this project, we'll talk about it in a sec, this producer group that I'm in called the Lupara Gang. Like, he's doing projects with every fucking one else in there, but he's finally got around to doing our one now, so that's sounding really good.
Nice.
Martin Music 3 with Jamil.
Some honesty
is in the on the go. I've got a load of tracks for my follow up to The Awakening as well.
Okay.
That'll either drop this year or next. And we've got a group of producers. I'm called ourselves the Lupara Gang. It's me, Farmer Beats.
Okay,
Farmer, a UK producer.
Shout out Farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
We've got Mighty Healthy in there. We've got Blue, a guy from Australia. A Timepiece, another guy from Australia. SB11, who's another Australian producer.
Yeah, okay.
Machacha.
He just put a project out.
Machacha,
yeah.
Machacha from Denmark. We've got him on there as well. Yeah, well, it's literally just a literal a Bohemia Lynch as well from Japan.
Oh wow. Okay, damn. So y'all just like an international crime syndicate, essentially.
Yeah.
So
crime syndicate.
Yeah, man. We've literally just put a project out with Water.
Water. Yeah.
That just got the vinyl drop with Copenhagen.
That compendium. That compendium shit is dope.
Yeah, and we're working on another couple of projects at the minute. I won't say who with yet because it's not it's not fully tapped in. But yeah, that's it's an exciting another kind of avenue to go down. Essentially we started off as just like a group chat of people on Instagram, just like swapping ideas and talking shit, really. Mostly we mostly talk shit on there, to be honest, but then occasionally we'll get together and say, let's put a project together. So looking forward to doing more stuff with them guys, because they're really easy to work with, good bunch of chaps.
So indeed. And the Water project is if you get it on Bandcamp, it says featured, and it doesn't have just the rapper, it has the producer on there as well on Water's page. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty cool, because a lot of times you don't know who produced stuff unless somebody just produced the whole thing.
Well, shout out Ty Ferris. He does that too, man. Now he's been any track that he does, or at least the past couple I've been seeing it. Yeah, he definitely does featured whoever the artist is, and then the producer's also one of the featured. So that's definitely a dope way to do it, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's a Bars and BS release, I believe.
Oh, there you go.
Correct?
Yeah, it was there. Yeah, CD and tapes, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably why that happens. How that happened.
That's really cool,
precedent.
That you're seeing producers link up like that, though.
Hell yeah, that's raw.
Another thing that I love about this community is how there's a feast mentality, not a famine mentality. Like there can only be so many of this or so many of that. And,
there can only be one.
No, and when people work together and you get collectives that work with other collectives, that shit to me is fantastic. So I'm excited. That's really cool.
And there's no one else, not that I can think of. I can't think of when I've seen that before either, where that number of people from all over the world, essentially, like literal different continents, have come together.
Yeah,
like we have, and put projects out, and it's not something where we're just going to do this thing with Water. Like it's going to keep going. Do you know what I mean? Like
that's amazing, man.
Because we have the home team out here in the United States, and they're from various parts of the country. But yeah, that's going international like that is crazy.
So indeed, there was this group back in the day called Collusive Partisans that was going to do that, but they never dropped anything. That was back in MySpace. They drew a picture and they never did anything. So when y'all, that's why I'm saying doing stuff or putting out stuff is the main thing. Like just do it. Just do it. Come together and do it. You know what I'm saying? So indeed. Before we get off here, the only y'all familiar with Highlander?
Of course.
Like there can only be one?
Yeah. So boom, I was on Yahoo a long time ago, and there was this guy who had schizophrenia, and he had a samurai sword, and so his mom came home, and he was going through one of his psychotic episodes, and he chopped her head off. And so in the comments, I'm reading about it, because you could comment. It was like when first you were able to comment on the stuff on Yahoo, and so then you could actually like the post as well, like what they commented. So like I was going down, and some asshole wrote, "There can only be one," in the comments.
Oh my god!
This was before trolling.
Like 100. Yeah, it was like 100 or something likes. Yes, I was like, "Yo, do you see this shit?" And that's like everybody hilarious. At my crib was like, "Yo, that's crazy as fuck." That definitely was the first time that I saw, because everybody was talking major like, "Man, this is horrible. People need to get help." Blah, blah, blah. Why did he do such a thing? I could never hurt my mother. Then someone said, "There could only be one." I was like, yeah.
I mean, as a comment, that was an assassination.
Yes.
You won. You won the comment section with that. Congratulations.
But I didn't know people actually watched Highlander like that. And I was like, yo, I'm not the only one out here. I'm not a super nerd by myself, yo.
Highlander is an amazing film.
Yes. And they had the show as well with the girl.
The show was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
The movie had Sean Connery in it, though, right?
Definitely.
Well, yeah, but he played a Spanish guy who spoke in a Scottish accent. Like,
he was Australian. That's right.
What about Hunt for Red October when he played a Russian sub-commander with a Scottish accent?
Yeah, he just does his...
No, it was translated. It was translated into English from Russian. When you translate it, that's what happens, right? No?
It goes
never
Scottish?
mind.
No.
Okay, sorry. All right. The guy from Jurassic Park was an English person or an American that spoke with a fake Russian accent.
Right? Yeah, but at least he tried.
Yeah, he tried.
Storm was African in the first X-Men, and then she was American in the second one.
Oh,
Halle Berry.
She couldn't keep that accent up.
Yeah, Halle Berry
was horrible.
She couldn't keep it up.
Yeah, probably wrote
she's
it in her
fine.
contract.
She's fine. She got a nice rap.
God, yeah.
I love you, Halle Berry. Halle Berry. So, boom. What else you got for us, Hobgoblin? I'm saying, you got any? You want to shout some shit out before we get off here, bro?
And I think in terms of projects I've got coming, keep your eye out for the Primo project that's coming soon. Mm-hmm. Substance, Josiah, me and Jimmy and Honesty are doing Mark Music 3. Ooh. My album's going to be coming out. I'm going to be doing some more live stuff as well. You'll like this. So I'm doing an event. This is obviously for people in the UK, although I might try and maybe live stream it on Instagram. I'm doing a Star Wars beat battle. Using all the producers are using samples from Star Wars soundtracks.
Okay,
I'm only allowed to use that, and then do it like beat battling. Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. And also possibly we're in the talks with the guys who do the Street Fighter franchise. Yeah. Is it Bankai or Namco? One of those kind of things.
Bankai, yeah.
Capcom, Bandai.
Yeah, Bandai.
Yeah, one of them. So we're going to be doing an event for a new Street Fighter game. Again, this will be in Birmingham, where we're going to be taking samples from the games and doing again like beat battles with Street Fighter.
That's dope.
Samples.
Yeah, they're coming out with the new one. I think right now they're on Street Fighter 6. Yeah. So that'd be pretty cool as well. That's dope. That's what's up.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Yo. Just look out for the new shit for Hobgoblin, Primo Jab, Sub, everybody, man. Boom, boom, boom. And we appreciate you for coming on here, man. I know it's late. No. It's early for you.
It is now. Yeah. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning now. But you know what? I've enjoyed it. I've really had a really good chat with you. It's been really good. Thank you.
Most definitely. Yeah. Thank you
so much for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time because I know it's different time zones, bro. Different time zones. Yeah.
We gotta show love to the UK because you guys definitely keeping hip hop just alive.
That's right. Absolutely.
There's a few of us over here. Yeah, we've got a nice little cohort.
I love the feel.
And low key, when there was a dying era, y'all was holding it down for us. Shout out to Dread Eye and all the other motherfuckers over there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was really having that sound. Instrumental albums and all type of shit. So when we was over here doing in the dark ages, y'all was still holding it down over there for us. And still, as far as being fans, y'all really held it down heavy for us.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So boom, we appreciate that. My brothers over there overseas, especially the UK, the Spains, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Boom.
Germany, France, Brussels,
Budapest,
all that.
Turkey, a lot of people out there.
We gonna shout all that out.
Y'all was holding it down, man. So episode 85. Right. Issue 85 of the Abyss Podcast. You know what I'm saying? UK, USA. See y'all next week. Wow!
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.